What's up guys, Phantom here, back with episode 32 of my F1 2019 career mode, as we're going to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix for round 10 of season 2.
It's time once again then for qualifying here at Silverstone on what we're hoping will be a tight contest for pole position. Now then, Anthony Davidson, you're not getting any younger, but you have been involved in your fair share of qualifying sessions in an illustrious 30-year career. How do you deal with the pressure when you have that one chance to deliver a perfect lap?
It's not so much about dealing with the pressure, it's more about how you approach the risk and just how much of it are you willing to take. You're constantly balancing the car on the edge of grip from braking, cornering and traction, and over the course of a lap, it's easy to get that balance wrong, and that's why achieving the perfect lap is almost impossible. As you say, I've been doing this 30 years now, and it never gets any easier.
As we start out here in Q2, as it is once again raining and qualifying, as this is the third straight race that, the third straight qualifying session that we've had that's rained, as at France and Austria it also rained, but those were in Q3 only, as it's starting to rain now in Q2 here, as it's still not damp enough to go in intermediates like it was at Austria and France, but by Q3 it certainly should be. And we are P2 and we'll end up P3, 1.7 seconds off of Hamilton. As we move on to Q3 here, as we go a little bit wide, it is a lot wetter here than it was in Q2, as we are about to start our flying lap, which will be our only qualifying lap of Q3 here, as we get a little bit of oversteer there, as we once again get a little oversteer through turn 2, as we have not much experience in the rain, as it will not rain in the race, as we come across a line, and it will be P5 for us, as our teammate Butler finishes right ahead of us in P4, as Vettel is on pole for the British Grand Prix.
The pain of parting is nothing to the joy of meeting again. And how joyous indeed it is to be back at Silverstone once more for the British Grand Prix. The queues to get in this morning extended miles back down the A43, such as the enthusiasm for Formula One in this country. The 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain is hallowed ground to the Formula One faithful. We have 18 corners that wrap around this former World War II airbase, and some good passing opportunities at the end of the DRS zones. With the Grand Prix nearly upon us, Anthony Davidson is by my side once again to offer his perspective. Let's discuss Haas. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Butler, a Haas, and Faber, Norris, Sainz, Albon, and Daniel Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, and Perez, Stroll, Russell, Kevin Magnussen, and Daniel Kvyat, Hülkenberg, and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
As we sit here on the grid in P5 after yesterday's qualifying performance, and the fly lights are on, and we are away, as we get a pretty average start here, as we are looking to the outside of Leclerc, as we go a little bit wide there, but we are able to get around our teammate Butler, who went very slow on the apex there, as Leclerc and Hamilton are fighting for P2, as Leclerc has the inside for this left-hander onto the straight here, and he looks like he's going to take second place from Hamilton there, as we move on to the end of lap 2 here, as we pull up right next to Hamilton, and we're actually going to go to the inside there, as we're not going to get very much drive off that corner, which will leave us vulnerable to our teammate Butler, as we were a little bit slow there to defend, as we have to give him room on the inside there, as he'll have the inside, and the AI, once they're to the inside of you, will dive bomb you, as he is taken 4th position from us. As we come through Maggots and Beckett's here, as we'll have DRS against him on the hangar straight here, and we are catching up, and we will have the inside open, and we will go down the inside of him to make the pass for 4th position again, as we come on to the start of lap 5 here, as we have set the fastest lap of the race. As we come to the end of lap 5 now, Vettel will go into the pits, and he will undercut Hamilton as we go and stay out with Hamilton, as we are pitting at the end of this lap, as we've caught up to Hamilton down the hangar straight with DRS again, as we pull into the pits, as Hamilton has decided not to go in, and he will stay out another lap. As we pull under our box here, and we will have a 2.2 second pit stop, as everybody is going to pass us. As we come out of the pits now, as Vettel will be ahead of us by probably a second and a half, well, probably a second, as he's gained some time and set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with his fresh tires. As we come out of the pits, we will jump Hamilton, so that extra lap has not paid off here, as we come onto lap 8 here, as Russell now will hold us up through Maggots and Beckett's, as he is really compromising us against Vettel here. So we will have to try to immediately make the pass on him, as he is right now being a nuisance to us, as we will probably have the inside here, and yes we will, and we will go down the inside, as again we've lost probably a couple tenths there to Vettel, as we are passing a ton of cars in the pits, as we are trying to chase down Vettel for net second spot of the Grand Prix, as Kvyat is holding up Vettel, which is allowing us to get closer to him and hopefully overtake him, as Vettel has overtaken Kvyat, and we will do the same, as we are really close to Vettel now, as we are definitely within a second of him, as we will come out 3rd there on lap 10. So now our job is to catch Vettel, as Leclerc is a long way down the road. You can see him, he's what, 3-4 seconds ahead of Vettel, as we are getting really close to him, and we are going to make a look down the inside of him, but he's going to fight back on the outside, and he's going to be able to keep second spot there, as he kind of turns into our braking lane we were going for, as he moved in the braking zone a little bit, as we are going to do the same move again on lap 11 here, as during the first part of the lap the AI are so much quicker than me, but down through Maggots Beckett's in the second lap, second section of this track, we are so much faster, and we have overtaken Vettel for P2, but he is on soft tires, as we have set the fastest lap with the aid of DRS, as he is now going to be so much quicker through this first sector than we are, as he is going to look around on the outside of us, as we are going to go very defensive and try to keep, as he's going to have a look down the inside now here, as we are able to fend him off for now. But as we come on to lap 13 here, he's going to look around the outside, as he is going to think better of it, as he has the straight here to get past us, as he gets a very good launch off this corner, and we're going to instantly go defensive and try to break that toe of him. But he's going to sweep around the outside of us, as we're going to have to brake late and try to fight back on the inside, and then on the outside we're gonna actually cut him off a little bit. But our tires are just falling off as he's able to get a very good run off that corner, and he is to the inside of us now and pass back for second spot. But as we come back onto the hangar straight here for the last time of the Grand Prix, he is pretty far out there, probably 5 or 6 tenths. As it's the last lap we were going to go for, as we get up there and we're going to lunge, and we have been able to clear him, and we're going to go defensive into this last section here to make sure he cannot slip up our inside, cover off everything there, as Leclerc has set the fastest lap and won the race as we finish P2.
Can't complain about that one. That was an excellent drive.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Fermé. What a fantastic race it was. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Our championship leader not only managed to hold on to the top spot, but managed to further extend their lead. Impressive stuff. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
It's got to be Valtteri Bottas, a commanding performance that I think had the audience's eyes glued to him for the majority of the race.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The gap between Haas and the rest of the teams is extended yet further. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.